Greetings, Algo Artisans. We got a special treat today. First, we're going to discuss Ethereum and some news about that, see why it's jumping up in the charts, and we're going to talk about Ethena. We're going to start in the charts right now. Okay, so here's Ethereum on the daily chart. Before we get too far into the news, we'll just take a look at what's happened with the chart. Was actually looking rather bearish. Now, historically after the halving, Ethereum runs first, and then all the other alts run after that. So the halving happens, Bitcoin gets tired, Ethereum begins to run, and then once Ethereum has made its move upward, the rest of the altcoins run. Now, I had thought that perhaps Solana might supplant Ethereum this time around. Ethereum does have some issues it is dealing with, but we must not underestimate the network effect and the old boys club. Ethereum is held by a lot of very important people, very high in finance, and when very important people hold something, it tends to do well, whether it should or not. Not a slide on Ethereum. I think it's a pretty good coin. I think that it needs improvement. I think it's expensive. It's relatively slow. It's not the slowest coin out there, but it does have the network effect. So why the big pump? Why do we see a 20% increase in a day? Within 2 days, we got a 25% increase. And going back to mid-May, a 33% increase. That is substantial for post-halving. We had a little bit of news, so we're going to get into that news, but first we're going to take a look at what might happen with Ethereum. A lot of it is going to depend on whether the ETF is approved. That is what has pushed price up in the first place. There have been a couple of items that came out in the news that raised the probability that an Ethereum ETF would be approved. Now, if you had asked me earlier this year, the people I talked to who are pretty familiar with the high-up financial people, that opinion was, no, probably not going to happen. They probably would slow walk it. However, now that has changed, and one of the things that might be causing this is traditional finance needs money. And what better way to get money out of the cryptocurrency group of traders and investors than to simply approve an ETF, right? Look what happened with Bitcoin. They approved a Bitcoin ETF. Billions of dollars went into it overnight. So Ethereum is another way to do that. We're also in an election year, right? So the people who are in charge right now need the markets to stay stable, because if markets go down, the incumbent does not do well. So at all costs, the markets and the stonk must be protected, and the more money, the better. So such ETFs would help that process as well. Now, I do see a simple range possibly developing here. Price is right now towards the top of this prior range, which I would mark right about here. In fact, it is above that. Right now it's broken out. So the top of that was about 36.70. Right now price is looking pretty strong. It may continue up and bump its head on about 4100, which is the recent high here. Let's take a brief look at the algos to see how that might look. Bullish on the daily, bullish on the weekly. The all-time high for Ethereum was 4800, 4900. I'm actually not a big Ethereum holder, although it is rather profitable. Again, I don't see anything wrong with the coin other than it's slow, and right now there's just a whole mess of layer 2 solutions that are trying to fix the problem of speed and of transaction price. There are those who believe the developers will fix that. It just seems like the developers for Ethereum move rather slowly, and when you have Ethereum being crammed into ETFs, it's probably not quite as important to fix the coin. It's going to make money anyway. That's all I see right now with the charts. I see price hitting up to knock its head on 4100, possibly go higher, especially if Bitcoin were to go ahead and breach its all-time high. Of course, the next look we would have would be the all-time high at 4900. Very simple price action. There's not a whole lot to it besides that. There's not a lot going on in history above 4100. Let's go ahead and move on to the news. So Monday, Bloomberg's ETF analysts increased the probability of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission greenlighting the spot ETH ETFs to 75% from 25%. Meanwhile, CoinDesk reported that the SEC had asked exchanges looking to list and trade potential spot Ether ETFs to update 19B-4 filings on an accelerated basis, a sign of the regulator attempting to fast track the process. That's what we're seeing, just potential approval and all the signs pointing to it. So now we get a special treat. I'm going to let you in on this morning's private live lab so you can get a taste of what we talk about in there. You can get a taste of the level of detail that I go into when I consider the price of a coin, the value of a coin, or any investment for that matter. So let's have a listen to that. Yeah, it looks like ENA is giving you a little bit of love right now. The trick about ENA, again, I think it has a future. It's got the right people, but I mean, look at Kitten Hamer, which is, a lot of people are interested in that, but everything's draining out. It was Kub yesterday that talked about he wants to see an alt strain out before any moves up, and we're seeing an alt strain out. I mean, it's a lot of alts are looking like this. Now, a lot of them aren't. You got your larger alts that are holding, so it's not a complete drain out. But this built a bit of a range down here between like 72 and 96-ish. You do have kind of a defined range, and price kind of got back into it. In fact, it's not that well defined, but it's kind of there. I think this is more appropriate. Yeah, 77 and 94, and then maybe like a sub range right below where price did a little bit of an accumulation and made its way back up. So this would probably be a better way to map it out. Look, this is a post-listing deflation. This is pretty typical, especially when the whole market is draining out. So you got a listing when everything was bullish, and then all of a sudden you get the post having lull. So listing this at this time, I'm not sure what they were thinking. You got a lot of smart people behind this coin, and they listed right at the time before the halving. They should have waited till after. Or maybe they just don't give a shit. They have so much money, they don't care if it drains or not. But this ENA, remember that the total value locked in ENA it's all in crypto. So in order to be able to make money, you need two things. You need money and you need volatility. And in this event, ENA is a market making coin. So basically, as prices chopping like this, the way that ENA can pay its bondholders is by market making. It's by basically being the person from which everybody else buys and then making small amounts of money on those, right? On those purchases. When you market make for an exchange, they pay you to do that. They pay you to be the person from which customers can buy. Okay, so you get a percentage of all these transactions. And as price rotates in a range, you're in and out of the trade, plus a percentage. So understand that two things happen. If you were market making with $1,000, you're making, let's just say you're making 1% on that. So you're making $10. But if you're market making at $500, you're only making 50 cents at 10%. Well, that's what happens when your total value locked shrinks because it's all based in crypto. So when you had like, say, $3 billion in crypto that with which you could market make, and I don't think it's all going towards that, but let's just make things simple, right? You got $3 billion in crypto towards which you can, put market making, right? Which you can put towards market making. So if that's the case, then you're making money on $3 billion in market making. Well, when that shrinks to $2 billion, your ability to create income shrinks by a third. That's a lot. Number two, the other issue is that the actual value decreased itself. So your holdings, your value of your coin based on collateral, that's decreased. Third hit comes because there's a decrease in volatility. The less volatility, the less opportunity to market make. So your value locked shrinks, just the actual collateral, base collateral of your coin shrinks. Your ability to make money shrinks because your collateral shrinks, right? Your actual base on which your market making shrinks. And then the volatility decreases. So there's not as much money to market make. So the entire project compresses not threefold, but for threefold reasons when the market slows down. And one could argue that that's going to go in reverse on the way up. The only issue there is that you have a listing deflation. So price never really had a chance to make, price discovery, right? It listed and then the whole market deflated. So people sold their positions. So you're in very uncharted waters with ENA, right? ENA is tricky like that. So, and that's a lot of coins, it's a lot of coins, especially coins that are making their money based on delta neutral stuff like market making. So what do I see happening with the price? It's extremely difficult to give you anything. There's not a lot of high time frame data with ENA. I can tell you that it seems like the kind of swing trade data is bullish, but it's, there's, let me see here. Look at the higher time frame algo looks pretty good. Like the daily algo, or the 18-hour in my case, that does look good. If I had to bet what's happening right now, I would bet we probably see a head and shoulders form where price comes back down. And again, this is like super out into the future. The only reason that I have to believe in this has to do with the rest of the crypto market. Like I would not depend on this as something to trade. But if somebody said, hey, you got to tell me what you think is going to happen, you could be wrong. It's okay. I would say this is my most likely scenario is you're going to have price touch this high again, or maybe even not quite make it up, creating like a slanted head and shoulders, which would be beautiful. And then price will probably head up again. That's what I'm guessing based on who's behind the project, based on all those metrics I talked about, crypto total value locked, collateral volatility causing more market making and money coming back into the coin. I hope that explains what you're looking for with ENA. Okay, I hope that was enjoyable. and I hope this video was helpful. Please come on over to algofactory.tech. We teach people how to build trading algorithms. We teach people how to build trading methods that can help them extract money out of the market. This is a wonderful way to build wealth. It's a wonderful way to also become financially independent, and your success is dependent mostly on your determination. It is not rocket science. Mostly it's hard work, just like anything else. We do have some pretty happy customers, as a matter of fact. Go ahead and have a listen to this customer. They gave us just a lovely testimonial. Here we go.
Hey guys, so I've been in Algo Factory for around 10 months now. I held crypto, but I hadn't traded crypto or Forex before. Since joining, I've learned a massive amount that I use almost daily for trading, reading charts, using indicators, and understanding different aspects of the market. So I found the course incredibly easy to follow, and the interactive style of teaching is incredibly beneficial. So now that I'm comfortable in my trading ability, I'm starting to invest more capital, and projections are looking very promising. My goal is to be trading full-time in the future, which I believe is highly achievable. I've met an amazing community of like-minded people and made some great friends. In my opinion, both V and Cowboy go above and beyond, and I highly recommend joining Algo Factory. Thanks for everything, legends. Cheers.
All right, thanks again. Come to algofactory.tech. Don't forget, trade your job, upgrade your life. We'll see you on the next one.